Hey guys, and welcome to the FPL Tips YouTube channel for the Double Game Week 25 preview video. It's only me, Akhilesh, this time around, and it's been a while since we've done a pod out, but I think it's an important part of the season and one of the biggest game weeks of the season. There's a lot of important decisions to be made. We wanted to put up the video before game 24, but couldn't do it unfortunately. But hope you all have played the right chips. I think it's been a win for most of us who have played the assistant manager chip, be it on slot or Moyes, be it on Musala, triple captain. I think today I'm recording this before the Liverpool against Everton Merseyside derby tonight. A massive swing could happen in that game, given uh, Liverpool. Some people own slot, some people own Moyes. So I think both of them can't score big points at the same time. It's either or. And a lot will be learned from the assistant managership point of view, whether it makes sense to attack the fixture and get the table bonus, or whether it's better to go safe. And a lot of perception will be formed from the game tonight. And also there'll be Everton defense owners, whether they can keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. Will Trent play? Will Gakpo get a few returns? People who've gone away from Gakpo for the slot pick. So I think there's a lot that could happen. Rank can be hugely swung after tonight's game. So looking forward to that. But I think we should move forward and plan for game week 25 because it's another double game week, and Liverpool have a double game week yet again. They will be playing Wolves at home and Aston Villa away, while Aston Villa also have a double game week. Who will be playing? Um, Ipswich at home and Liverpool at home. So two home fixtures for Unai Emery's side, and yeah, I think it's an interesting because they are in a phase where they have a few new faces in their team. They have done well in it to get to the round of 16 of the Champions League, and they have an important season ahead in terms of getting the European positions for next season and also trying to go as deep as possible in the Champions League. So I think they have improved in their squad depth very well. John Duran was sold, but they've used that money to get three attackers, which is good for their squad depth. But we will be talking about their assets as well, and we will also be looking at a fixtures view on. It's been an FA Cup weekend of a few upsets. I'm not saying sure Spurs is an upset, but Chelsea have lost to Brighton, who are not in great form, and the biggest upset was Liverpool losing to Plymouth. Although Liverpool made 11 changes from their win against Spurs, it's still a good team that Liverpool honestly not fielded, but losing to Plymouth was a big disappointment and also will lead to repercussions when it comes to FPL planning. So we'll be taking you through the game week 33, 34, and how that double game week looks and what an overall chip strategy could be. I might do another detailed chip strategy video when there's more clarity on the double game week. But I think this is another time where some of us are planning to use a few chips for game week 25. Some of us are already on assistant manager and also sort of navigating to blank game 29, which is another news that we've got this week with Liverpool and Aston Villa doubling in game 25. Game week 29 is where the Carabao Cup final will be placed, and that will also be a blank game week. And so Newcastle and Crystal Palace will also be blanking. Their double game week was not pushed forward, that will be pushed backward towards either game week 33 or game week 36, most likely game week 33. Um, because neither of them are in Europe, the Premier League can take some time to uh, rearrange their fixtures. So that's with that. This is Legomane's chart as usual, where he's put up the fixtures and how they are spaced and what are the other competition fixtures, when do they fall. So I think it's a very interesting chart to look at and see when exactly teams play and what are the fixtures they have. And it's great work done by him. Shout out to Legomane. And yeah, let's just get started quickly. I will first look at the game week 25 projections. This is Rob D's a graphic which he also puts out every week, and a very interesting graphic which has the goals projection, clean sheets projection of each and every team. Let's look at the two big teams that we are talking about, which is Liverpool and Aston Villa, who both double this week. Liverpool have Wolves at home, where they are expected to keep 46% clean sheet odds, while also having a goal scoring odds of 2.90. So I think whoever would have gone and planned with Liverpool's double game week for 24, I think will have three places in three Liverpool players in place. Mostly Salah and Trent will be one and two. I think Salah we come to the triple captain conversation, but whoever triple captain him this week, kudos to you. Credits were like wherever. I think it's a great decision, and you're getting the reward. While when it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's a fitness doubt against Everton. We'll get to know more about him tonight, whether he starts, whether he's on the bench, and what that would mean for the Wolves game. Um, and also, there is like Gakpo, it will be there playing. And if you have Gakpo, you should hold him. If you have Slot, you should hold him. Same with Van Dijk. I'll just fully cover pick by pick. First, I'll just go with Trent Alexander Arnold and what it means about him and his injury. Slot did mention that he partially trained yesterday and might be training today, and they will take a call whether he will be in the squad or not. Cop HQ on Twitter, who's a very reliable Liverpool account, who also gives reliable team news, has had did mention that he expects Trent to play on the bench. And if Trent is on the squad and he's on the bench, I will expect him to start Wolves. There are people who will be sort of mentioning that if you look at their fixture ticker over the next 5 game weeks, the next five fixtures in the Premier League fall within, I think, 16 days, 15 days. Everton, Wolves, Aston Villa away, Man City away, Newcastle at home. Pretty tricky fixtures as well. And Aston Villa, Newcastle, and Man City are the harder fixtures, while Wolves is the easier fixture. So people might be looking at seeing that those are the fixtures where Trent will play. But Connor Bradley has been really good form. He can be counted upon in some of these fixtures. And if Trent doesn't play Everton, I do expect him to start against Wolves because I don't think he can be missing three games in a row. That is, if you include Tottenham, I think before the Aston Villa game, you wouldn't have played for 2.5 weeks, and that's a lot. So I think there will be one game where Trent will play. If he starts against Everton, he'll be benched against Wolves. If he is benched against Everton, I think I expect him to start against Wolves. And then based on how he looks in the game he plays over here, I think he might be getting 20, 30 minutes in the other game as well. If he is on the bench against Everton or if he's on the bench against Wolves. And we'll get an idea on how he looks for the beyond game week 25. But I think I will definitely hold him for game week 25 if he is on the bench against Everton. I do expect him to start against Wolves and most likely also against Aston Villa. Um, but that I mean, we will if we predict around 120 minutes for Trent in the double game week, I think, and if he is probably going to start the Wolves game, which is more likely for Liverpool to give clean sheet, I will hold him. If not, if he starts against Everton, then I'm not sure he starts against Wolves because Conor Bradley is playing really well. So in that case, I might be looking to move to a Van Dijk or a Konate if you want to fund the move elsewhere. But a lot of us don't have a lot of transfers, so I think funding a move might be difficult. So I think will be going to Van Dijk might be the option in that sense because he likes a double game week and he is due a double game week goal, which he's done every season. So I think that thing would be good, and Wolves might be conceding some chances of set pieces. So Van Dijk does look like a good option if Trent sort of if there's a fitness issue or if Trent is in the bench against Everton. If Trent does start against Everton or Trent misses out totally against Everton, I will be tempted to make him that. The next player I'd like to talk about here, who's a question when it comes to the double game week 25, is Luis Diaz. He didn't start against Bournemouth. Although no, he did start against Bournemouth. He did start against Spurs in the Carabao Cup, where Nunez played really well. Nunez scored a brace against Brentford as well. And Diaz did start against Plymouth, played 90 minutes, and was not very effective. So I think a lot of Liverpool fans would like to see Luis Diaz on the bench against Everton, and Darwin could be starting this one. And that means that Luis Diaz could start the Wolves game and maybe get the rest against Aston Villa. I think that will be interesting. But if he does start the Wolves game, then I might see him like holding him unless you have you have only that room to fund Arne Slot, in which case I will be bringing in Arne Slot. But this is for people who have David Moyes and want to move on to Arne Slot, not for people who haven't played the assistant manager. I will come to that as well in a bit. Um, and talking about the other Liverpool assets, I think Mo Salah is definitely a hold. And just segueing into the triple captaincy discussion, where I will be advising you to captain Salah if you have three Liverpool players. I think it's a great option, and even if you have two Liverpool players and you don't fancy playing the assistant managership, I think you can still captain Salah, maybe bringing in a third Liverpool player, either Konate, Van Dijk, or Gakpo. But triple captain, I think, is a very good choice to use in Game Week 25 if you haven't used it yet, because I think in the future game week, your free hit and bench boost and the assistant manager, if you haven't used it yet, will definitely come more handy. If you do have two Liverpool players though and money in the bank to bring in Arne Slot, playing him is an option. So, for example, if you have 1.5 and you don't need to use a transfer to bring in Arne Slot, then you can just play the assistant managership. That I wouldn't be too against that. But if you do not have the money, I would not advise you to spend an extra transfer and just play the triple captain. So I think it's a good week for Salah to be play the triple captain on. Maybe he gets 75, 80 minutes against Wolves, but I still think it's really good enough. He's in very good form. Played really well against Spurs as well in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and I think I will be confident kind of triple captaining Salah. And finally, Gakpo, I think it's definitely a hold if you have him. I think he's looking in really good form. He didn't play a single minute against Plymouth didn't even travel. So I do expect him to start most games than not over the next few weeks. And he's looking in really good form. He's looking very confident. And he's a good finisher as well. So I think that's a definitely a plus. Um, Down when it comes to the assistant manager chip, and also to get it out of the way. If you hadn't played assistant manager last week, using it in future game weeks could be better. Last week, before the last minute announcement did come, the same advice I think we were giving on Instagram, that if you hold your assistant manager chip and then play it in game 36 38, because historically there's more volatile towards the end of the season, where some teams will have very little to play for and some teams will have a lot to play for, and more table bonus fixtures where your teams might be 5 places below some of the other teams who you're targeting, and there is the potential for more points. And historically as well, more points in assistant managership have come towards the latter part of the season. So that could be the reason why you could hold your assistant manager, because it's again uh, double game week, single game week, single game week, yeah, and it's the same thing. Well, last week it was double game week, single game week, which is 5 fixtures. So that might be the reason you could maximize on that thing. Um, but that's the reason why I would hold the assistant manager chip. If you do have David Moyes, I am saying it's an easy transfer to Unai Emery, but I sort of think that you could also go to Arne Slot if you have a Luis Diaz and an extra transfer. Then you can move to Arne Slot, and also depending on what happens in the Everton game, I think you'll learn a lot from that game in terms of the assistant manager and also in terms of how Liverpool are playing in these difficult away games. I think few of them are coming as Aston Villa away and Man City away as well in the next week or so. So that's the reason, that's the thing. But if you don't have the budget, I wouldn't waste a transfer. Or like other than maybe say Luis Diaz, or if Trent is injured, I wouldn't waste a transfer. I would just go directly to Unai Emery, because again, if you come back to this top T graphic again, Arne Slot and Unai Emery are projected to score the same points this week. So one is through safe pick where you might get wins and you can get your points. While Unai Emery has a good Ipswich home fixture where Aston Villa could score a few goals and Unai Emery could get the points. While also playing Liverpool at home, where Arsenal's win percentage and draw percentage put together is come to 46%. So 46%, Unai Emery has a chance to outscore Slot in that week, which is a good high percentage, and there's a good chance that Unai Emery could be a good shout as well. So I think both are good options for next week, regardless of what happens against Everton in the Everton Liverpool game, and you could move on to either of them next week. And I think depends on your team structure. If you have three Liverpool, Unai Emery is obviously easy. This is Trent, Gakpo, and Salah. If you don't have, then maybe going to Slot. If you want to downgrade Luis Diaz, you can do that. If you have only two Liverpool, you have money in the bank, you can go to Slot. But saving a transfer could be very easy as well over here. So Unai Emery is a good shot. The other reason why I'll just quickly come to that was I advise not playing the assistant manager check this week if you hadn't played last week. Is in game week 26, I don't think there are too many table bonus fixtures you can target. Arsenal against West Ham is definitely one fixture that's like a safe fixture where you expect a good team to do really well. But Kai Havertz has been ruled out for the season, and Arsenal only have three fit attackers in Sterling, Nwaneri, and as well as the third one, Trossard, while Martinelli is also fitness out and he's injured. So that lessens the appeal of Arsenal because West Ham will come to play solid in the bottom and they might not concede too many goals. Man City, Aston Villa, Newcastle all have potentially good table bonus fixtures that they could end up in. And these are top of the top 10 teams, so they will play good football. And Man City against Liverpool at home, Aston Villa at Chelsea at home, Newcastle at Nottingham Forest at home. All three are good home fixtures for the table bonus, but it's very unpredictable, and we are taking a shot in the dark. I'm not sure we will have any news about we are not going to get any news about who's going to be where in that table, and if there is a chance that all three of them do not get a table bonus fixture, in which case you will be depending on teams like Leicester and Southampton who have table bonus fixtures to for this week, which might not be too bad, but I don't think it's maximizing the usage of the assistant managership, which is why I think you should just hold your assistant manager if you did play it last week. And coming down, and I'm not sure you have too many good fixtures in Game of 27 as well. Maybe you have Chelsea against Southampton, good home fixture. Tottenham against Man City, good table bonus fixture because Tottenham tend to do well against Man City. And other than that, Crystal Palace against Aston Villa could be a good fixture to target as well. But I'm not sure there are too many good fixtures in that week. Coming down to other fixtures in game week 25. So Brighton play Chelsea. I'm moving away from uh, the conversation here a bit to just look at then I'll come back to rank the players and talk about Aston Villa a little bit. But Brighton play Chelsea. I would hold Cole Palmer definitely over here. I would sell Joao Pedro if you have him. He didn't start in the FA Cup game, and they did play well and beat Chelsea in the FA Cup game, which means that Brighton will stick to that team while Chelsea will be looking to take some revenge. And they are a little bit inconsistent at this moment, but I do expect Palmer to play well. And he's been underperforming a little bit since December, actually a lot since December. And I will not be impatient in when it comes to Palmer. I will hold him for a few weeks, and he has Southampton Leicester in game 27 and 28. And I think you can't go without Palmer in those fixtures. So holding Palmer is should be a must, and I wouldn't consider benching him this week as well. We did see him score 4 goals against the same Brighton side in game week 6. Yeah, Palmer is definitely a stay and yeah, play him. Aston Villa at Switch. It's a good fixture for Aston Villa at home. They have 40% clean sheet odds, but I'm not. I think towards the end, the projection of that will come a little bit low because Ipswich can score a goal. They are not playing very bad but I mean some of the fixture results do suggest that they've been conceding a few goals, but they've been a bit unlucky, I'd say, and they could get a goal in this game easily. And I'm not sure you have too many good defensive options for Aston Villa as well. When it comes to Martinez, could be an option, but do remember that Aston Villa do get blank in game week 29, and yeah, if you do bring in Martinez and Fabianski as your second goalkeeper, you might have to end up doing another goalkeeper transfer, which is not ideal. So I wouldn't make that transfer. When it comes to the defense, Konsa is injured, which means two reasons. Konsa is not a good option, and also it weakens Aston Villa's defense, which means that other Aston Villa defenders are not good options as well. This has here it's at 4.2, but I don't think he'll be tied against Chelsea. Would be able to play against Chelsea, but not sure how his team his position will be long term once Konsa is back and where he will be playing. Catch is also out. Dean and Madsen are very minutes risk. Each of them take each other's position, so I would touch that as well. Garcia might be a decent option, but again, not long term. So I think I would avoid Aston Villa when it comes to defense. When it comes to the attack, we have a lot of new faces there. We have Marlon, we have Rashford, we have Asensio. But I don't think I will go to either of them. It so seems too punty right now. And we've not learned a lot about Aston Villa. Against Spurs, Marlon did play at strike in the absence of Mark Watkins and did play well. And Jacob Ramsey played at the left. Morgan Rogers played at the right. And Morgan Rogers played attacking mid and Asensio played to the right. Rashford came on, looked sharp as well, but I think Jacob Ramsey in really good form. That I think he'll continue to play a few more games, and he's also like homegrown local boy. So yeah, I don't think it's easy to bench Jacob Ramsey this much when he's in good form, and he's also similar to Morgan Rogers. So like he's been playing. He's young and he's been playing well for Aston Villa, and they've not come too expensive for them. And yeah, while Rogers came from another club, Ramsey has been staying there for a while, so I think they are good lads who Aston Villa fans have liked, and they want to get the best out of them. And for a while, I think until he gets injured or he goes out of form, I think Ramsey will continues to be first choice. But I think his minutes will go down, which is why I don't think he's a pick. While Morgan Rogers has been solid this season, he's looked in great form. Unlucky that he returned 1 pointer against West Ham and Wolves, while he got a hat trick against Celtic in the Champions League and a goal and an assist against Spurs. But I think he's in good form, and you could expect points from him in the double game week. So he'll be number one pick for me when it comes to Aston Villa is Morgan Rogers, and I think he's looking really good right now. So he'll be my biggest target. And the other important player who we should talk about is Ollie Watkins, who did get injured against Wolves, but and got subbed up. But I think you should wait for some more news about him. Emery did mention a little bit about him hoping that he will be training this week. We might get more news about Watkins in the press conference and maybe a later decision. But I think another important the question that's surfacing is Isak to Watkins. And would you do it? Isak has Man City away, Nottingham Forest home, Liverpool away in the next three. Man City, although is a good fixture for Newcastle, I'm not sure it's the best three fixtures you would see. And he also blanks in game week 29. So, with someone who has a few transfers, I might be tempted with going to Watkins from Isak. But I want to hear some positive news from Unai Emery about Watkins. And if he does give some positive news, I will be jumping the gun from Isak to Watkins because I have a few transfers in the bank and I might be able to make another transfer before game week 29, and I will not be playing the free hit in game week 29. So that is with Watkins, but I think Rogers could be a very good option, while Watkins is sort of a good option if he is fit, but if not, holding Isak is perfectly fine. West Ham versus Brentford. It's a little frustrating that Brentford couldn't beat Tottenham last week, although they created a lot of chances. But I think Bumo's a good hold, and there might be a benching headache when it comes to Bumo, but I will start him over someone like a Chris Wood. Maybe not ahead of someone like an Isak, but he's a good player to keep, and he keeps sticking along and very reliable on penalties. Wissa is also very high when it comes to last 6 game weeks in terms of expected goals, non-penalty, and for that reason, I think Wissa will be a good hold for these few weeks. And after this, they have Leicester, Everton, Aston Villa, which might be suiting better for Brentford, while the West Ham game a few weeks earlier might be a very good game as well. But now with Potter back, Potter there in the job, I think it could be a little more cagey. But I think they are good assets to hold and could be targeted also for the next few weeks because they do play. They have a confirmed fixture in game week 29 and will ensure that you don't need to pay the free. Liverpool Wolves, we have covered. Leicester Arsenal, I think Arsenal's goals could reduce over here, but their clean sheet is still solid. And because they don't have too many attackers in their Arsenal, unintended, but because of that, I think I'd see them more defensively, and I think it's good for the clean sheets. So whoever have held Gabriel Raya, it's a good time to be and hold those Arsenal defenders. Fulham, Nottingham Forest, tough to predict. Difficult fixture for Wood, and I don't think we were gonna get another hat trick. Hopefully not. As someone who doesn't own Wood and Wood keeps destroying us. But yeah, I think it's a good fixture to keep an eye on. If it would have been a good table bonus fixture if it was not a single double game week. So that's definitely there. Southampton, Bournemouth are predicted to score projected to score 2.25 goals. They are looking in really good form, fourth in terms of attack in the last few weeks. And yeah, I think they have. We will come to Bournemouth in detail in a bit. but they have some really good options for investing as well. Yeah, I'll just quickly segue into the Bournemouth part as well over here with the fixtures, their top fixture ticker when it comes to the fantasy football scout season ticker. And yeah, they have Southampton away, Wolves at home, Brighton away, Spurs away, Brentford at home, Ipswich at home, West Ham away in the next 7 game weeks, and they play have a confirmed fixture in game week 29, which is Brentford at home, which is a good fixture. And they are really in really good form. Scored 5 against Nottingham Forest, scored 4 against Newcastle. Could have scored a few against Liverpool as well. So yeah, Bournemouth are looking really good, and I'd expect them to continue being really good. And they have a few good options. Midfield, there's a dilemma between whom to pick, Clivert, Tango Atara, or Semenyo. There's defensive options in Housen and Kirkes as well. So I can go through their assets a little bit now. First, the midfielders. I think it's a trio. Clivert is playing as an attacking midfielder. Dango Otara is playing out of position as a striker, while Semenyo is playing as a left winger. When it comes to underlying data, expected goal involvements, Clivert is really high, but some of that is also the penalties he's taken. If you take the penalties out, him and Otara are really close when it comes to expected goals and goal involvement. Expected goals in from open play, you see it's 1.77 for each Clivert and Watara, so it's neck and neck. While Semenyo's not too far, but a little down, 2.67 xGI with 1.3 xG open play. And they also have good expected goals and expected assists. So they are look really clicking as an attack. They've created a few chances. Clivert has 6, Otara has 5, Semenyo has 7. So you could get assists from any of the three. They have decent assist threat. Semenyo is a short monster. That is what you can give for Semenyo. He takes really powerful shots, and even like the shots he takes, even against Liverpool, he hit the post. So because he takes very powerful shots, he's definitely someone who has an eye for goal, and that is something I really like about Semenyo. While the positioning will really benefit Dango, Water, and Clivert, because of Watara's natural ability to drift a little bit, Clivert will be taking the attacking position as opposed to when Evan Nilsson plays will take the position in as a number 9. So Clivert could get a few chances as the number 10 drifting into the box. He's also on penalties. That's something really nice about him. Penalty area touches, Semenyo is top with Watara second. Quite a bit of distance between Semenyo and Watara, and Clivert is just behind Watara at 30. Big chances created, Semenyo has 3, the Watara has 1, Clivert has 1, and big chances total, which is the big chances they've got. So Watara has the most in last 6 game weeks, 7. Clivert has 5, Semenyo has 4. So, and shots, as we did see, Semenyo has the most shots. And all of them are sub 6 million, so price is not a big problem. So they are all looking like very good assets, which means that a double up could really be a possibility. If you do double up, I will be picking Watara definitely as one of those two. He's playing out of position, and he's scored a few goals over the last few weeks as well, and he's getting a lot of big chances. He's very cheap at 5.1, and you can also bench him in some of the game weeks where they're playing away at Brighton, away at Spurs. So that could be solving a benching headache, and you can play the other player. Between Kluivert and Semenyo, I think I'll pick Kluivert just because of the penalties. But Semenyo, I think he's going a little under the radar because he takes so many shots as well, and has a lot of penalty area touches. He wins a few penalties where Kluivert will take, and he is a 90 minutes man who could get late goals as well. So I think Semenyo has been scoring a few late goals, and he's a good option, definitely in this team. Um, and that coming back, I'll just rank the three of them. I put if price is not the question, I put Kluivert 1, Tango Watara 2, and Semenyo 3, just about behind. But I don't think that doesn't mean I don't rate Semenyo. I really rate him. When price is in the question, might be going with Watara as 1 because he's playing out of position. Kluivert at 2 and Semenyo at 3, and that's my ranking for this. Just touching about some of the other things that might be interesting. In game week 29, the fixtures look good for Wolves. Fulham at home in 27, 28 Everton at home, 29 Southampton away, West Ham after that, and Ipswich. So if I am looking for someone to bring in game week 29, Cunha is a good option. And if I do go for the Watkins transfer this week, I will get the 3 good home fixtures. Aston are good at home. And then when it comes to game 27, I can remove Watkins and bring in Cunha. So that looks good. Liverpool blank in game week 29, but they play Southampton in game week 28. So a lot of decisions about the selling Liverpool assets will actually come down to game week 29, which is good, I think, like, because if you do save three or four transfers when it comes to game week 29 and make all the moves in game week 29, I think there are good fixtures. There's a turn for Chris Wood. Before that, he plays Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, and Ipswich in game week 29. So you can just bring him in. Man City have good fixtures from game week 29 onwards. So Haaland, Foden could be very good options as well. Marmoush could become an option. Fulham have Tottenham at home also. Everton have West Ham at home. So whoever transferred in Everton assets this week for game week 24, I think the plan should be to bench them until you get them back for the blank gaming. So I think because four teams blank and there are good fixtures around, it should be fairly easy to navigate in game 29. So overall, my advice for free hit in game 29 will be that you should not do it. There could be some viable strategies with the free hit. Well, like if you can free hit, if you can hold a few transfers, then you can directly navigate to game week 33. The last few game weeks of the season could be good game weeks to use your wild card. But I think using a wild card in either game week 31 or 32 might be the best strategy with respect to the wild card. And bench boost, I think game 33 is expected to be the biggest bench boost week. So that mostly will have the Newcastle Crystal Palace blank game week push there. And game week 34, as we see in this chart from Lego Mane, will have blank game weeks. The teams that surely play there are Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, and Spurs, who have all been knocked out of the FA Cup. But some of the other teams could have blanks, like Man City, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and I mean, also and as well as Bournemouth and Man United. So you will get some fixtures pushed to game week 33. And something that I really like about game week 33 is your Arsenal assets and Liverpool assets have very good fixtures as well. So if you want to keep the Arsenal assets for the future, you can have them hold them through and play them in game 33 with Ipswich away. Liverpool have Leicester away as well, so you can play them too. So the bench boost will be a good bench boost in game 33, and that's what I'm buying to as well. So overall, my chip strategy right now is play through till game week 29. I'm not sure I'll be a dead end in game week 29 because the fixtures of a double game week is likely to be announced in game week 30 or 31. So if it's not announced in 30, I'll wait till 31. Regardless, I might still wait till 31 because if I have Haaland, Arsenal, and maybe Salah in my bench for the game week 30, I'm not sure I'll have Isak for that week, but I'll still have a good enough team with the Bournemouth also playing Ipswich and Chelsea playing Spurs. Um, and game week 31 is something that I will look at as a wildcard week where some of the assets can be brought in and you can plan towards bench boost game week 33. If you have a few transfers in your bank, you can bring in players from Liverpool, maybe one from Chelsea or Everton, someone someone who has a good fixture or has a double in game 33 and plays game 34 as well and play a good team in game week 34. If not, you can also use the free hit and then use those few transfers for game week 35. Game week 36 is another expected double game week, maybe smaller than game week 33, which is also a time that we can play a good chip or have a few transfers to navigate through. Game week 37 could be a blank game week with the FA Cup final because the European final is right after that in the midweek. So if there is a clash in that, the fixture might be advanced to game week 36. So that could be a double game week followed by a blank game week. But I think it would be fairly easy to navigate with a few transfers in game week 35, 36, 37, 38. So my overall plan will be to wildcard in 30 and 31, play bench boost in 33, free hit in 34, and save a few transfers around it so that I can use it in 35, 36, 37, and 38. But at the moment, coming back, I will be looking to transfer in a few players for the double game week 24. So the 25. So the players who are you have to target mostly, I've mentioned them. Liverpool is Salah, Trent, Gakpo, Slot, Konate, Van Dijk also I'll add it if Trent is out and so he's not going to play and likely not to play if he doesn't start and if he does start against Everton or if he misses out the game totally. Watkins, Rogers, Emery are the only three players I'll be considering from Aston Villa. Watkins again subject to fitness. Some key points: three Liverpool assets I think is a must if not already in place. Aston are blank in Game Week 29. So if you don't want to use your free hit in Game Week 29, unlike me, who like me, who's also not going to use the free hit in Game Week 29, whichever Aston asset you transfer in this week will cost you another transfer to later to move. So only target some of these players if you have 3+ transfers to spare. So that's one of the key points. I've already covered the triple captain assistant manager, and just a small point on the other chips. I will not play any wildcard bench boost or free hit, as they will be far greater value in the blank and double game in the future. So that's another thing to note. Just touching upon a fixture over here, Crystal Palace Everton could be a cagey game, as this predicts. There's no blue or red in that game. But I think it's a good game to play. Or who knows, maybe Mateta as well. I think he's a good fixture who's in really good form at the moment. And he's still very less owned, so will be continuing to tick along. Tottenham play Man United, which could be a high scoring game. And Bruno Ahmad could be good options to play against Spurs, who are a leaky defense. And finally, Aston Villa against Liverpool. I do expect Liverpool to win this game, but it'll be a pretty difficult game, and I think both teams will score in this game. So if you can bet on Watkins or Rogers, I think it won't be bad for Aston Villa. They could score a goal or two in this game, and Emery could maybe get a draw, which would still help him outscore Slot. And as we did see here, he has 46% chance of getting outscoring Slot in this game week, and that puts him in high projection. Marco Silva does look like a good single game week manager, but it was if only it was in a different game week that could have been a good choice. Same with Fabian Husseler, who has a very good week against Chelsea with the table bonus. So they just beat them in the FA Cup. Could happen again. And Yes, any other team to look at over here? I was actually planning to look at another Arsenal defender transferring in, or also a Bournemouth defender. I think they are good options for this week. Another Arsenal defender goes out of the thing because of their difficulty in Game Week 29 and also Game Week 30. They have Fulham. I'm not sure they keep clean sheet. They have Nottingham Forest in Week 27 away from home as well. There could be a few clean sheets for them in these few weeks, but I think Kirkes could be a very good option for these few weeks as well. Kirkes as Housen is another thing I'd just like to address. If you don't have the money, you can just go to Housen. It will be good because Bournemouth are really solid at home in defense, and 3 of the next 6 are their defensive fixtures. In Game Week 28, if you have a Hall, you can play him instead. You can play Munoz in Game Week 27 and 28 and bench the Bournemouth defender. So that is also really good option. So for Southampton and Wolves, I think they can keep a clean sheet because they are looking solid as a defense, especially with the Housen and Zabani partnership that they have in their defense. So Housen is a very good option. Finally, coming to my bus team, I will have Raya in goal, Gabriel as well. So I've double the Arsenal defense. I did transfer in Kirkes for Greaves this week because I had the money. I just went ahead with the transfer. Trent Alexander-Arnold is there. Probably not going to have my vice captain armband. I'll move it to Rogers. But if he does, as I did mention, if he does start against Everton, I'll be tempted to moving him on to Van Dijk. If he doesn't, and if he's on the bench, games comes on and plays 20 to 30 minutes, I will be starting Trent because I expect him to play against Wolves, and I will keep him. If he misses out completely, then I will wait for a bit of news, but I might be removing him after all. Midfield Palmer will stay Salah captain. I think I will have to bet against superior ownership again this week because I think I see quite a few people triple captaining him. Rogers is already in place, which is a good thing, and I also have a Bournemouth midfielder, Semenyo. Maybe he's going to be the differential out of the three. Maybe he gets a few points. That would be really good. And Brian Mbomo to complete the midfield. I'm happy with him. He has a good few fixtures and plays in 29. Same with his strike partner, Wissa. I mean, it's been a little unlucky with Wissa. He's been very good over the last few weeks, and I've not got the points, but I think I will expect a few points. Isak is there right now. If there is positive news about Watkins, I will make the move as well. I had 3 free transfers before this week. I did make the switch from Greaves to Kirkes before his price rise. I might do another transfer or two when it comes to Isak to Watkins or Trent to Van Dijk, given what will happen in the next few days with the Everton Liverpool game and also the press conferences. Arne Slot is there as the assistant manager. He will stay for this week and next week. Maybe I'll try to look at a table fixture. And the bench, I have Fabianski and Jai, Hall and Mikolenko, who will be staying as my bench options for this week. And if in case someone gets injured, I might be looking after getting one of them. I'm unfortunately Anshuman is a little busy, so he couldn't send this team over. But we will be sharing some thoughts and more posts on Instagram. So I will just like to end with a good plug over here. So head over to our Instagram for more information before the end of the game week. And please hit the like, share, and subscribe. And I think that really helps us. Please also comment on our YouTube channel on what you think about this game week. Any questions you have, anything we missed at all, and what we could do better coming up the next few weeks. I think that would be really great as well in us gaining a bit of traction. I think we are trying to be a little more regular. Apologies for not being there for the last month or so, but we will be back, trying to be back for the next game week. Until then, this is Achilles from the FPL Tech YouTube channel signing off. Have a good double game week 25, and we'll see you next week.